My name is Greg Pritchett. I'm the head instructor of the Modern Jiu-Jitsu Athletics Training Center in Newark, Delaware. I've had over 70 fights, 67 wins, 9 losses. I went 15-0 as a boxer. Muay Thai, I had 21 fights. I've only had 1 loss in Muay Thai. I've had over 20 knockouts, usually with the overhand right. Oh man, when I was fighting, I mean, I'm 40 now. I haven't fought since mid-2000s. But when I was fighting back in the 90s and early 2000s, I mean, a lot of people don't know I was a single father. You know, I had a little man and a little girl to take care of. At first, you know, we were, you know, kind of, you know, living real hard, you know, apartment to apartment. Taking care of my kids, and you know, my dream was to become an electrical engineer. So I was working in Pep Boys and stuff like that, you know, working on cars and selling car parts and things like that. I really didn't get a chance to get into my dream, and there was one day this guy says to me, he had an electrical problem with his car. And I helped him with the electrical problem, and he says, "Man, I don't understand why I didn't figure that out." And I said, "Well, why do you say that?" He said, "I'm an electrician." And I said, "Man, I've always wanted to be an electrician." He says, "You know what? Why don't you come down to the local? I'll put a good word in for you, and we can get you out as a helper." And man, I just wanted to show that I was a hard worker, and got in. They only let a couple of minorities in each year. I was one of the ones that got in the apprenticeship program. I was fighting, I was training, I was still raising my kids. Of course, making more money now, so it was a little easier. Ended up buying a house, getting 2 dogs, so now I had 2 dogs, 2 kids, a house, and then I had, because of the apprenticeship program, I had night school. So I had to still, you know, keep up with my training in order to train at the level that I was on. You know, in '99, I fought at in Towson College in Baltimore, Maryland, or Towson, Maryland, and I fought the National Sancho competition under the USA WKF, and I got the silver medal there. Fought some good guys. I lost to a guy named Brent Hamby from Oakland, California. I think he was from for the gold. And it was, I mean, even that fight I'll never forget, because this is the first time we fought on a lei tai, and for those of you who don't know what a lei tai is, it's like a boxing ring with no ropes. And when you get pushed off of that ring, off of that platform, the guys who did the pushing gets the majority of the points. So I think that, you know, my striking was superior that day, but getting pushed off the platform, I just wasn't accustomed to that because we didn't have that type of training in our gym. But I went on to do Sancho in the ring. Did several other competitions, Art of War in Atlanta. Met some great guys, guys like Kung Lee, Rudy Ott, Jason Yee, Pat Barry, Mike Altman, just you know, really great people. Even, you know, one of my favorites, you know, great guy, and even one of my favorite fighters was Max Chan from New York, and his sister Tiffany, you know, was an amazing fighter as well. But you know, these are the, you know, kind of guys that, you know, I got to talk to, sit down with. You know, even Scott Sheely. You know, we roomed, Scott Sheely, myself, and my coach roomed together. You know, when I fought at the Art of War back in 2000 or something like that. And that was an epic fight, because I fought the Italian national champion, a guy named Sini Renato. And I, you know, I watch these guys on Facebook even to this day. Fighting was to keep my sanity, brother. You know, I had 2 babies. I had a daughter that I didn't want her to go to school, you know, thinking, you know, people like, man, she must live with her dad, man, she never has her hair done. I made sure that my mom, my mom and my sister, you know, they got with me, taught me how to do her hair, you know, taught me how to use a curling iron, taught me how to braid, you know, so I had to get this stuff done, man. I wanted my daughter going to school looking like, you know, the rest of the kids, and, you know, their moms and dads taking care of them and stuff like that. I didn't want them going through that. And you know, I know that they missed their mom. You know, their mom had some stuff that she had to handle in life, and you know, it was a good thing that, you know, I had the opportunity to be there to stand up and do my part, because I just couldn't imagine myself, you know, without my babies. Now they're all grown up. But yeah, man, that made fighting all the more worth it, because, you know, I know that they were proud of me, and, you know, even to this day, you know, as I'm teaching my son and he wears my shorts, like, you know, every time I do something, no matter what age, you know, he's like, man, that's my dad. You know what I mean? And that always made me proud, even from when he was a little guy. When I used to be in the parking lot of our apartment complex practicing and jumping rope, and I looked to my side and he was doing the same thing I was doing. I got fighters on every different level, man, and that's a funny story even there, because I didn't expect to own a school, to run a gym, any of that stuff. And then even after I did it, I was first at the School of Chinese Kickboxing, and even meeting Grandmaster Evans with the modern Jiu-Jitsu system, and you know, him telling me that he could hook me up with a contract to fight for Showtime. You know, I'm looking at this like, man, you know, I'm kind of getting old, but you know, I would like to fight on that level. And then, you know, the type of you know, the things that they wanted me to do in order to fight on this level, I just really wasn't comfortable with giving up, with me just starting my business, you know, leaving my family that I had never been without. You know, I couldn't take my kids with me there. They were in like junior high school and high school at the time. Like, I just couldn't see myself, you know, being without my family. So we talked about coaching and coaching on a professional level, and you know, end result was, you know, I'd stay at my place and I'd train fighters to get from the bottom to the top. And you know, that's what we're doing. You know, we've been doing, you see the title belts, you know, we got guys, you know, coming up for their pro debut. I've had other fighters that were training, that I trained, that trained alongside of me, you know, Kamar Paisley, who, you know, I helped him, you know, I was like an assistant coach to him when he won the WKA national championship. TJ, Torrey McLeod, when he won the national championship, you know, I was an assistant coach and like a big brother to them. And those guys, you know, TJ lives in California now doing his thing, but Kamar now is a professional boxer, and I've had the opportunity to work with him, work in his corner, helping him get prepared for fights, and learning, you know, what it takes, you know, in the pro division, you know, in the corners, wrapping hands, stuff like that. And I've just got an opportunity to learn so much. And, you know, through all the years of training and fighting and being there, I mean, you know, even Jermaine Richardson was, you know, one of my best sparring partners. That, you know, getting in there, you know, this guy had like all shoulders and no neck, and it was like, it was a monster, man. I mean, it pushed me to levels that, you know, I couldn't have achieved if my coach didn't put those type of guys in front of me. And I'm able to give those things to my guys now, you know, because I've had guys who were stronger than me, who were bigger than me, who were taller than me, who were smaller than me, you know, because I have all this experience in all these different areas now. And when I give it to them and they trust me and they move with it, and these guys are like, I mean, these guys are incredible. I mean, my son, Greg Pritchett III, I mean, you guys look him up. He went from a kid who got bullied and got picked on to never losing a fight, to national champion 2 times, world champion once, and now he's just relaxing. You know, you got Zach Kelly, who comes in here and has a bunch of fights, but was on a different level. Like, he was on a lower level than the number of fights that he had, and now, you know, like, this kid is like hard to stop. Like, you know, anybody that faces him knows that they were in a fight, win or lose. You know what I mean? So, you know, these guys are really there to fight, man. One of my favorite fighters actually was a student of mine, or is a student of mine. He's just not fighting now. You know, David Bonilla, man. I trained this kid since he was like 11 years old, and just seeing him fight in the first times and you know, kickbox and box, he's the one that actually inspired me to even coach boxers, because my goal, you know, after talking to Grandmaster Evans, was like, you know, this kid needs to be in the Olympics. You know, he was incredible. But, you know, life things come up that stopped him from getting there, you know, raising a family and stuff like that. And, you know, at a time I was really hard on the guys, you know, trying to raise a family and not working out and not making classes, because I was the guy who had 2 kids, 2 dogs, in a car. And I didn't miss class, you know what I mean? And I had school and work and all that stuff. But I got to understand, you know, at the same time, everybody's not me. You know, everybody's not made the same. Everybody's not bred the same. And there's things that kid endured that I know I couldn't endure. You know what I mean? So, you know, I can't take anything away from it. These guys are just incredible, and I've had a wonderful opportunity to coach them. Well, my personal goals, man, I want to be, and I think I deserve to be, you know, a top coach, you know, within UFC, coaching UFC fighters. I mean, I see a lot of guys, even I've had guys come down to the other gyms that Kamar trains at or cross trains at, and sparred with him, who are in the UFC, and he has, you know, been able to do really well against them, you know. And like, I have other fighters that I have on these levels, you know, that You know, you got Rich Leg and Mike Leg, you know, who's no longer fighting now, but, you know, I took Rich up to get some sparring in with Frankie Edgar before, you know, and he did well. I mean, he's not going to walk through a Frankie Edgar. I mean, the kid's incredible, but, you know, for Mike Leg, I mean, for Rich Leg on you know, on that level, man, it was like, you know, incredible experience, and even incredible to be there in the same gym, you know, with an iconic figure in the UFC like that. And, you know, that's just one of my all-time goals, is to be one of the top guys. You know, everybody says, oh man, I'm sending my guy to train with Greg Pritchett. You know what I mean? Not Greg Jackson, or you know what I mean? I mean, I also want to be able to train boxers on the highest level. I'm an open book. You know, anything that I can give, I will. Anything that I can learn, I'm open to learn. You know, I don't think I know it all. I'll never put myself in that position, because I want to be the guy who can suck it up like a sponge and get the job done and be able to mold. Just let everybody know that I love what I do, man. Ever since I started doing this, I haven't worked a day in my life, because I really appreciate coming to work. I really appreciate the guys showing up. I mean, this turned into a dream come true for me. And, you know, all these guys working out, training, the guys behind me getting in, you guys being here with me. I mean, it's just an incredible experience, and I couldn't ask for anything more. You know, my family's here for me, my fighters are here for me, my instructors are here for me. I got it all.